Hello there. Okay, so it has definitely been a while since I've been back on YouTube, but I am pregnant, so now I have a whole new journey to talk about, and I'm extremely excited about it. Okay, so for starters, it has been one heck of a ride. So I found out I was pregnant at 3 weeks. I knew deep down it was twins. Although everybody was like, no, 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 don't say that. You don't know yet. I'm like, you telling me at 3 weeks I get a positive pregnancy test? So I knew that. And then by the time I hit 8 weeks, we found out it was twins. I was really super excited about it. Now, I will say, I had the most crazy nausea. Like, I was so nauseous, you have no idea the amount of throwing up that I was doing. Like, it was pretty intense. So, they did put me on some pills to take whenever, I was going through, like, uh, I want to say it was from basically 4 weeks to 12 weeks I dealt with the severe nausea. Um, Dang, this mommy brain is like really trying to get to me. Yeah, it was about 4 weeks to 12 weeks. It was pretty intense. I couldn't keep anything down, and even though I couldn't keep anything down, I didn't want anything either. Like I wasn't really hungry. Like I didn't have an appetite, so I lost a lot of weight, gained all the weight back, but everything was good. So then a week after, we also, 11 weeks, we found out that we actually lost the twin due to vanishing twin syndrome. I did not bleed at all. No spotting, no cramps, no none of that. I just absorbed the other baby. And the current baby, she's doing fine. She's a girl. And then a week after that, I found out that I could possibly have cervical cancer. And that was a big thing for me. And it's crazy because I didn't even want to announce to people until I was showing that I was pregnant, but I was just so excited that as soon as after that 12 weeks, and they're like, oh, you can tell people, I was like, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it because I'm just so excited that I finally got pregnant. I did, and then literally within a couple days of posting that, to get that phone call that I possibly have the cervical cancer, it was heartbreaking, and it was really difficult to deal with social media at that point. So I stopped all of my social media accounts. I didn't delete them. I just didn't get back on there anymore because I couldn't handle it. You got all these people asking you all the same question. It's like you have to answer that same question 50 times. And it was really difficult. It took me a little bit of a deep depression. Even now, my phone is on night mode because I really didn't feel like having to keep talking about this same situation over and over and over. So I figured I'd give myself some time, just focus on my health, the baby, and my relationship, and I'll be able to come back to social media when I feel like I'm mentally ready for it. And that happened in May, and it is now mid-June, well, July, it's almost August, and I want to say about August I'll be pretty prepared and ready to come back to social media. This is like the first video that I've done for any of my social media accounts, so this is like a big deal for me. I did at 14 weeks found out I was having a girl through a nip test, the blood test, which I was pretty excited about because at first, before we knew if I actually absorbed the twin or not, because she said it and then I didn't get an ultrasound after that until like, I want to say 2.5, almost 3 months later. And then that's when it was like, okay, you absorbed the baby. Baby ain't there. It's just the one baby. and that's my little girl. So that it was, although I was relieved to know that my baby was doing fine, I still am mourning the loss of the other baby. So, sometimes it does kind of get to me because it's like, I feel bad that you don't get to have your other sibling in there. We never got to know what the sex of that baby was. So it hurts a little bit, but I'm definitely better mentally now than I was weeks ago or even a month ago. And then one of the hardest things throughout this entire process was my doctor was the most nonchalant doctor. It was like, oh yeah, you have cervical cancer, but hey, we're going to schedule this appointment with this doctor and they're going to tell you what to do because there's nothing we can do until after the birth of the babies. And then after the birth of the baby, she was like, I know you wanted to breastfeed. Well, you can't really breastfeed because now you're going to be on chemo. And I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. First, I'm pregnant with twins, lost a twin, cervical cancer, chemo after I give birth. And not only did she say that, but she also said that they might have to take something out, one of my lady parts. I don't even know which lady part yet. I still haven't even seen that doctor. I see her next week. So to find this out in May, and here we are, next week is the last week of July. I'm just now about to figure out what my labor and delivery process is really going to be. I'm a little upset that I meet with the labor and delivery doctors next week before I meet with her because we can come up with a plan, but at the same time, I don't really know if I'm actually going to go with that plan because we don't know if the cancer has spread or any of that. So every appointment is just kind of scary for me because I don't know what I'm going to expect. And she says one thing, and then the next week or so, it's something different. And I know a lot of people go through different issues in their pregnancy with their baby, but it's like, my baby's healthy. She's fine. It's me that's the problem. And the only thing that I want to be is strong and perfectly healthy for her. Because that process takes the both of us and anything can happen. So to have a doctor that's just like, whatever, and pushes me off to all these other doctors, it hurts, because you're supposed to be the person I started this process out with. Like, this is my first pregnancy, and then this is how this is going, and this is how you are. And I spoke with her about it, and she tries to be more, I don't know, I guess friendly, but I'm like, it's not that you're not friendly. I just don't feel like you care, With the COVID-19 happening, that has been a big deal because this is, like I said, this is my first pregnancy. This is my husband and I's very first pregnancy, so for him to only been able to go to one appointment, even though it was the big ultrasound, and I'm extremely happy he got to go to that at 20 weeks, I just wanted him to be able to go through this entire process with me. So to have to be in the car waiting for your pregnant spouse to come out and tell you, oh, you lost the baby, or oh, now you have cervical cancer. Like, it's a lot because it's like they can be there for you, but they're not even there in the room to ask the questions with you, to be a part of the experience. And it has definitely been, it's been hard because if it were to still be twins and it worked out the way we planned, I wouldn't have got pregnant again after this, meaning he never would have known what it was like to be at every doctor's appointment. Yet he's at every doctor's appointment in the car. So I will say, being pregnant during COVID is like, it's an experience, okay? It is definitely a fucking experience because it really made me mad throughout the whole process that he couldn't be there. Like, we sleep in the same bed, we live in the same house. Like, how come he can't go in there with me? So that ultrasound appointment was very special for us because he finally got to be there. It was nice. Because I'm very tiny, I got to feel things a little quicker than some people. So at 18 weeks, I got to feel the first kick. And I felt, little movements. It did feel weird at first. It was like stings, like somebody tickling you from the inside. But then, like, week 19 hit, and it wasn't too bad. I was like, okay, I can feel it a little bit more. And then, like, as soon as 20 weeks hit, I could feel her. And not only could I feel her kicking, I can, like, see her kicking. He could finally feel her kicking. So I feel like it brought that, basically the rainbow to our to what was going on for us, and it was just an overall happy feeling. Because then I felt more into my pregnancy. It did take me some time to feel like, oh, I'm pregnant, because of everything that was going on, and I'm like, if I could just feel my baby, I could just know that she's okay. Because I just feel bad that all of this is happening around her, and I don't even know how she's doing in there. Because I only had one ultrasound, and that was at 8 weeks. And then I didn't get another ultrasound until I was 20 weeks. So in that time frame, I was just like, I don't know what's going on with my baby, other than her heartbeat that I heard at like every appointment. So the kicks, they really bring the pregnancy together, you know? But then, as soon as I started to feel her kick, I started to get hemorrhoids now. So I have really bad hemorrhoids, which I was told you're not supposed to get until 30 weeks. Oh no, I got it early. And it is a situation. But I have a remedy that I use, and now I have no issues with my hemorrhoids. I use my cream. They do have the witch hazel wipes, but I just feel like they cost a lot, and I'm not going to keep spending a whole bunch of money for just a one pack when the wipes that we use now, they come in a big old 3-pack. And I always have witch hazel because I use it on my face a lot during pregnancy, because it's like my face is like an overproduction of oil. So because it's an overproduction of oil, it's like super, you just gotta wash it a lot. Like, pregnancy skin is a whole other ballgame, and it did take me a minute to figure that out. But once it started happening, I started changing up my regular skin routine, because I already had a routine beforehand. Now that I've switched it up, I have nothing to worry about. I'm pretty good. I can pretty much keep it under control now. Now, I have psoriasis in my scalp, and I will say it does affect me a lot being pregnant. I have to wash my hair a lot. Most times I wear my hair straight, but it's been really hot in Oklahoma lately, so this is about as good as it's gonna get, because it's been too hot. And not only has it been hot, but I'm a hairstylist and I do my hair myself. No one does my hair for me. So in the beginning of my pregnancy, I couldn't do my hair natural because it was just so much work. I didn't feel like doing it. But now, having to lean over in the sink to wash my hair, having to, blow dry it, having to flat iron it, all of this, my hands, it hurts, and it's a lot. So now I've came to this other part where it's like, I just wash my hair every 2 days, braid it up, whatever, and this is what it looks like. This is what happens. This is about as good as it's about to get for the rest of my pregnancy. I might maybe once a month, flat iron it again or something, but look, I don't have time. It hurts my hands. It's just too much for me. I can't take it. But back to the hemorrhoids. So I just put witch hazel on my wipe every time I wipe back there, and it works pretty well, and it's cheaper, so it's a better situation. But if I go a week without using that cream or even wiping with the witch hazel, it's like a shit show for me, and I don't like it. So that is, I will say, no one warned me about the hemorrhoids. Everybody talks about all this other stuff when you're pregnant, but the hemorrhoids is what they don't talk about. I did have my nipples pierced before all of this happened, but I had a scary situation. I had to go to the emergency room the other day and I had to do an MRI. So naturally, I had to take out all my metal. I tried to put my rings in right after. Yeah, that didn't work out. They stink so bad when you take them out. But I knew I was going to have to take them out anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm just going to get them re-pierced after I finish having my second child, because I'm going to have this baby and I'm going to get pregnant again, and then I'm done after that. So I have no nipple rings now. And I'm not going to lie, it's so different. It feels so weird not having them. But I will say one of my biggest investments was I bought was like a 6 pack on Amazon of belly rings, which worked. Thank God I didn't have the metal one on because I would have to take that off too during the pregnancy. I mean, during the MRI. But these are just clear balls. No stretch marks yet, but I put coconut oil and hemp. I mix it a little bit with hemp lotion, and I put that on my belly 3 times a day. I started doing 3 times a day after 20 weeks because my skin, once it starts to feel itchy, is when I put it on. I don't scratch because scratch leads to stretch marks. Ladies, do not scratch. You rub. If it itches, you just rub, and then that means if it's itching, you should probably go put some oil on it. Shea butter is really good. I've been trying to get some shea butter. I just haven't bought it. I'll probably get it closer to like 30 weeks. But shea butter is really good for stretch marks. Coconut oil still is, and so is olive oil. So there's still really good oils to use. I just prefer shea butter because it's thicker, it lasts a lot longer, and I feel like it just works just that much better when you're towards, like when your stomach's starting to get that big later on in your pregnancy. Like right now, coconut oil is fine. But as soon as I'm like at 28 weeks, I'm definitely gonna get the shea butter for sure. So I try to do that 3 times a day. Prior to that, I was just doing it once or twice a day, which is basically before I go to bed and then when I wake up in the morning. Even though my belly wasn't even that big yet, but I was just preparing myself just in case. Which it never hurts, because you never know how much your stomach is stretching. And like I said, I was little before this, so I didn't know what to expect. I think that's about it for everything. I mean, I know a lot of people who haven't dealt with the vanishing twin syndrome, so it's a lot to take in, and I definitely want to be able to help those who went through it because it took me through a deep depression, and I can understand. So I'm definitely here. I'm down for any questions or anything that anyone wants to ask me about it because it really is a tough thing to go through. And cervical cancer alone, this is new for me, and I'm sure someone out there has probably went through that and could help me because I'm still trying to get through it. I'm still very confused by the whole situation. I've just been trying to be positive for my daughter because I can't. I'm scared to think about it because I still, like I said, the appointment is next week. It's been this long. I'm still trying to figure this out for myself. But if you also have any questions about having a pregnancy during COVID or any of that, let me know. Other than that, I'm going to try. I was going to do a video every week, but I don't know if I'm going to do it every week or every 2 weeks. I'm pregnant, so it just depends on how I feel. But I am going to try to keep them as close as possible because I am at a very positive point in my pregnancy and I'm very excited. So I'm happy to share.